Alright guys, what is going on? I'm Tubby Emu here with the match between CM Punk and Chris Jericho at Extreme Rules 2012 in a Chicago street fight. You're probably saying, Tubby, what is a Chicago street fight? Well, it is the same thing as the Extreme Rules match between Brock Lesnar and John Cena. It's the same thing as, well, they're the same exact match. The only difference is the name. And obviously it's because it's in Chicago. Imagine if he was in Houston, to be a Houston street fight. Now, there's a couple dynamics that have gone into this match. And I like the feud and the rivalry going on. You know, some people were mad that, you know, this feud continued. And I'll be the first one to admit, I bit for Chris Jericho on Twitter the very next day or the same night at, I think, was it on Monday? No, I think it was on Sunday. He had posted up on Twitter that he said he's still super sore, that, you know, CM Punk gave him the best match of his life or whatever, and high respects, and I consider this over. And then he comes out and beats him up. And I'll be the first one to say, I thought that was like, okay, you just put CM Punk over, good for you. And then came the fact about, he was probably going to stay a little bit longer than originally expected. I think the original plan was probably somewhere in June. Now there's talks of him staying till about SummerSlam, which is in August. And that opened up new possibilities for me in the realm of what can potentially happen here tonight. If you guys remember, about a year ago at Money in the Bank, we had probably the most electric crowd. It was rated a 5-star by... God, I can't remember what Backyard said. He said one of the organizations rated a 5-star between John Cena and CM Punk. An amazing crowd, everything about it, and he went out the hometown hero. He ran out with the title. Now, leading up to this feud, Jericho has somewhat gotten the upper edge, going after Punk's family, going after, everything about him, from his mother to his father to his sister. And I'll be the first one to tell you, I honestly thought it got a little personal. And then I heard an interview from Chris Jericho. And if you guys didn't hear it, I can't remember where it was. Sorry, I did try to find it tonight. He had said that, he had came up with the idea when he heard about CM Punk using the best in the world gimmick. And he himself pitched the idea to Vince. He went to Vince in Connecticut to Stamford and basically pitched this whole feud idea to Vince McMahon about the potential of a rivalry. Now, at the time, it was for the best in the world. Now it's just because they want to kick each other's ass, so to speak. But I think it just goes to show that there's a reason, this Attitude Era, not the Attitude Era, but this era is different, because there's really no superstar now that goes to Vince McMahon or has that clout or the ability to go to Vince McMahon and be like, hey, Vince, this is what I want to do for a storyline. What do you think? There's no guys that are really that creative. Chris Jericho is an innovator. He's always thinking a step ahead. And he's in it for the business. And I was looking at this feud and thinking, I'm actually really liking this. I'm really enjoying it. I want to see who can legitimately win. And it almost brings back, memories of last year between Randy Orton and Christian, where I see these guys potentially going on for a while. I know some people want the feud to end. Some people expect it to end, either let Chris Jericho win so CM Punk can feud with Lord Tensai, or let CM Punk win so he can feud with Lord Tensai. Either way, he can go on to have feuds with Lord Tensai. But I see it a little differently, and I'm going to make a bold prediction, because predictions really don't, mean anything. And I'm just going to make a wild and bold prediction here and say that the match will end with a crowd in Chicago absolutely irate. It's CM Punk's hometown, and I feel as we're about to be in for a huge surprise. Last year, what happened, they tried to screw him. He tried to end it. CM Punk went out the hero. This year, Laurinaitis doesn't like CM Punk. He had already said natural disasters are heading his way, which is, a potential for a Paul Heyman. Paul Heyman got feud between Brock Lesnar and, CM Punk, but also Lord Tensai, because it's natural disaster. And I think that I want to say Chris Jericho is going to pick up a victory. I honestly do believe that, Chris being around until SummerSlam, kind of needs a title. Like, if he doesn't win the title, I don't really know what else he can go on to do. I think this feud will last another pay-per-view. It could potentially go to No Way Out, and possibly on. The original, talk was it was just going to feud with Lord Tensai, and then the whole Chris Jericho thing got extended. And I think it all depends what Chris Jericho's schedule's like, what he's going to do, because I know he's touring a little bit in the summer, in June sometime for a week, and then he's back. And in my opinion, I would love to see Chris Jericho come back and stay. But you just have to enjoy the ride, like he says in his interview. It's not forever. Just enjoy the ride while it's here, and I'm enjoying it. I want to see Chris Jericho pick up a victory. I don't know about the possibilities of it happening. I'm going to say it's about a 70-30% chance that CM Punk probably will win. But I'm going to go on the brash and say, Chris Jericho kicks out. Chris Jericho picks up a victory at Extreme Rules. And I think this match would have to go on last. Or maybe they put it first. That way the crowd will be super hot throughout the whole night. I think that would be a huge turnaround for the WWE. And that could potentially cause a huge riot or problems in Chicago, guys. My name is Tubby. Make sure to leave a rating on the video. Tubby out.